Hello, James here. Welcome to another special edition of Nearly Said Cafe Day.
Come
CineMarks
on,
in full
Todd.
London.
Hey, no more coffee for you.
Ugh,
Hello,
full.
everybody. Welcome to CineMarks special Halloween edition. No cafes here. No, no, no. We bring the cafe to us. Um, Happy Halloween, James.
Happy Halloween, Paul. What you got planned for tonight?
Staying away from idiots. Staying away from drunk idiots and staying away from lines. Other than that, anything's game. So, uh, we'll see. I will not be handing out candy.
No.
Not too many trick-or-treaters up this way. So, how about you? Did you take the boys out?
Yeah, the only problem is 2 years in a row now, the weather's been crap. It's just been like
Yeah.
chucking it down, raining.
Dressed like Georgie?
Me.
No, I said everyone's dressed like Georgie for Halloween because of the raincoat.
Oh, they should be.
Everyone's Georgie or the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer, or who
What's
else
his
are the
name?
rain? Who
What's his
are
name?
the waterproof killers? We can get to that later. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. So you all didn't do anything because of the rain, or what?
We took him out. It's weird though, because I remember as a kid, everyone had decorations up. But we took him out tonight, and I don't know. It's just I find it in general, people just don't want to talk as much as they used to, or interact with people. And barely any houses had like pumpkin. We went to like 2 or 3 villages, and barely anyone had any pumpkins on or decorations and stuff. So,
Are pumpkin patches a big thing there? Like, are going and collecting a pumpkin and carving it? Are those is that considered
um,
kind of a tradition that people would do there? I did purchase a pumpkin. It wasn't for me. It was a birthday gift. But it was full size. Uh, presented as a do what you want with this kind of thing. Um, but I would gather that carving pumpkins is still relatively considered a tradition here for sure. I've seen it.
oh,
I've seen pumpkins that were
yeah.
carved. The next day they were green and fuzzy already. Madness.
Unless it was just these particular villages we went to, like they got sweets and stuff, but I don't know. It just feels different for when you're a kid. It might be different in America because I know you go like full blast for it.
Well, do they have haunted houses and
Um,
things like that there? Like, because honestly, I
oh,
feel like that's what the core of that excitement as a child stems from, is that excitement of getting scared, but in a somewhat controlled, safe manner. That's really the core foundation of why horror movies are so successful, regardless of whether they're terrible or not. Because
uh, there is haunted
psychological,
house. There is haunted houses, and you can go to them because there is legit haunted houses, like the legends and the stories
even
from
better.
like particular places. Obviously, too young to take the kids just now, but
Why?
no, I think like some of them you have to be like 16 and over.
Oh, there's something
Rules.
organizing the
Yeah, they
entry.
do some.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it
Yeah,
was the old decrepit house up on the hill. Like, come on, let's follow your old man. I'll show you how we used to do it. Like, Dad's the first one to get off. No offense.
but no, me boys. They do the taekwondo. Their club.
See, sorry.
Hey,
You're safe
no,
then. You've tutored.
oh yeah, no, their club actually held like had a party in their place, so they went to that last week. We took them to the pumpkin patch, and we went trick or treating tonight. So they've actually had a decent Halloween, to be fair. It's been pretty good. Um,
Do you get people at
what
your
we got?
door?
Yeah, a few. So it wasn't too bad. Broken Ascendancy. This doesn't feel so Halloweeny. I've got orange colours. I've got a Halloween background. It's called a Halloween special. What the fuck more do you want me to do, mate?
What are everyone's thoughts on this global warming nonsense? I mean, like, I'm not saying it's nonsense, but like it is clearly hotter now than it was a year ago, at least here. I mean, it's damn near 90 degrees today, so it's really hot. Yeah. So I can get where the weather. To me, the weather makes it feel Halloweeny or not. But you guys always have cold rain, so maybe that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird as well because yesterday it was nice, and you watch Hocus Pocus. Obviously, it's filmed in the summer, but we're just waiting to have a Halloween where, you know, the leaves are brown, it's still a bit of sunshine. It was sunshine till like literally 2 weeks ago, and now it's just been pissing down ever since.
Well, that's the thing. Anytime we see Halloween art, it's always shown, you know, orange leaves. It's ingrained in our heads to kind of have a visual for how the season should look, and with that comes various feelings. But I really think, yeah, it's all atmosphere, right? I mean, you don't see pumpkins surrounding a palm tree or anything. I mean, you might as a joke, but not in the traditional sense of Halloween atmosphere. But I'll jump right into something because that makes me think of what to me is one of the best intros for any film, especially a horror film and a film of the name of the season itself, right? So to me, we'll talk about the Halloween films some today. We're not going to be on here for an eternity, but I want to point out that I think it was Dwight Little. I think that's who directed Halloween 4. But the opening to Halloween 4 is one of the greatest openings. To me, it's the best opening of any of the Halloween movies, without.
Yeah, I know which one you mean now. Yes,
These establishing shots of atmosphere of the season, of farms, and you have like old, like, rusted farm equipment, and some of this shit looks really dangerous and could be used, and then you see like kind of decorations and a scarecrow and pumpkins, and it's so barren, and you can feel how cold it is there. And so that whole intro to Halloween 4, I think, is it's as perfect as you can get for a movie about Halloween being scary, but that atmosphere is established right off the bat. And that was, I believe, that was the first one they shot in Salt Lake City. So
right.
Even more incredible, because as far as I know, I think they had to, I mean, they shot it, I want to say in the winter time, but they had they had to like ship in pumpkins, and they had to like ship in like a bunch of leaves and all this stuff. Not just for that intro, but for the whole production. And yeah, it really shows. I think, you know, do you know what I'm talking about? That intro to Halloween 4? It's like the opening credit sequence. It's great.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, look how gloomy that sky is. Right? And it's just like, you could go yelling out in that open field. Who's gonna hear you? So yeah, I love that. I love, as much as I love Halloween 3 just as a standalone film, in terms of like the Michael Myers universe or whatever. Halloween 4 to me is always the big standout. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a great. Well, we actually watched the original tonight, and I didn't realize how quick that movie goes by.
Have the boys ever seen it?
It's first time. they know all the slasher villains and everything, but watching it, I think it's actually the first time they actually watch it. Obviously, there was a couple of parts I had to skip, um, but when the sister gets stabbed and shit, but no, they enjoyed it. But no, Halloween 4 is a favorite. But to be honest, yeah, it's underrated. Well, it's unpopular opinion, but that trilogy from 4 to 6, I actually love. I call it the Jamie Lloyd trilogy, even though part 6 she's literally in it for only the beginning. But
Yeah.
I love 5. Not as good as 4. It's a bit. They had a French director,
Right.
but I like 6.
How much better would 5 had been? And I like 5 a lot. It gets crapped on, and the
Hmm.
mask is likely one of the weaker masks. But how much better would how much more ridiculously entertaining would 5 have been had they left in the BMX scene with Mikey or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
that
I heard of
yeah, the
that.
stuttering boy. Like isn't there's like some BMX scene, right, where he like either like evades Michael
Hmm.
or he attacks Michael like with the BMX or
Uh,
something. I don't know.
was it Billy? I think the kid's name.
Or Billy, that's what yeah, Billy,
Yeah.
Mikey, whatever. Yeah, Billy. Did not I did never liked that character.
No.
I just
Do you think?
yeah, it was annoying.
Do you think it was a wrong move to kill off the sister at the beginning?
Yeah, I didn't like that move either. I see where they're going with it. Like I can see how the French guy, I can't remember his name, but um my guess is he was trying to go for kind of like a psycho
Hmm.
uh you expect her to be the kind of the heroine lead in this adventure as well, and then like no, we're killing her off in the first 5 minutes. Um, and I thought that was pretty cheap. I thought that they had done such a great job. Ellie Cornell as well. That's who you're talking about. Play, yeah, she. Um, I feel like she was so like she's to Michael Myers like what Nancy is to Freddy. Like in my head, like that's
Yeah.
she was that caliber, right? That character, Rachel. Um, and so when they just kind of off her, like she goes through all of that in part 4, right? From like the
Yeah.
rooftop stuff, like all of this, to then just he pops out of the closet and stabs her. Like,
Yeah.
no. So like that was one of the things like right off the bat, where you're like, okay, this is not, and it did not have the same effect as like the Psycho thing because that was the first in a film, whereas this we had already established and loved this character. To me, it was very similar to uh, Newt and Bishop getting
Oh
killed
yes.
before the opening scene, or whatever
Yeah.
in 3. Yeah,
Oh,
because you've already established
it's
them, you've formed a relationship with them, right?
yeah,
And so then you're pissing all over the audience and the fan base by just killing them off, especially like that. So I don't know. I didn't like it.
yeah, yeah. Alien. I know we're jumping all over the shop, but Alien 3. That film was a mess. There were so many different scripts for that movie. There
Here's
was
what I heard. Did you hear the thing about Sigourney Weaver for Alien 3? Like how she had all these demands on aliens.
yeah.
Um, all these like I don't know if they were demands, but she had like these requests. So the rumor I heard from very credible sources um, was that Sigourney Weaver, she was returning for Aliens, and this is going to be like an even bigger blockbuster, and even catapult her even further into mega stardom. And I believe she was the first female paid $1 million
Oh
um,
well.
salary on Aliens, if I'm not mistaken. If any of the listeners want to chime in, so from what I understand, she said, "Okay, well, I don't. I'm really against guns, so I don't want there to be any guns in the movie. This is like early stages, right? The negotiating process. I was like, I don't want there to be any guns in the movie, and I think there should be something where Ripley ends up having she mates with one of the aliens, and then I think she should die at the end. And Jim Cameron, yeah, he was like,
What the
okay,
fuck?
he basically like, shut up. We're paying you $1 million. Just listen to what I think is the way we should go, and I can assure you it's gonna get you where you need to be. And obviously Aliens to me is the best of all of them. It's the most complete. But then you
Did
look
you?
at three, and then you look at three, rookie director, right? David Fincher. No guns in the movie.
Yeah.
She ends up having sex with the alien, and she dies at the end or whatever. So she's just like walked all over him.
Right.
That
Did
was
you?
what I heard.
Did you ever hear James Cameron's pitch for Aliens?
His like initial pitch or something for Aliens.
So obviously, Ridley Scott made Alien. Obviously, massive success, great film. I watched it again the other night. Actually, I watched it again. Anyway, so he comes in with a pitch to make a sequel for Aliens. So he's in the room with with whatever the producers or film execs or whatever. So he
Galen
goes up
Hurd.
to the. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just thinking Galen Hurd, maybe, probably.
Well, he goes up to the board and he writes Alien. So they're looking. Then he puts an S at the end. Aliens. Then he puts two stripes with a dollar sign. Apparently, that's what got him the job to do the movie.
I mean,
He wasn't wrong.
right to the point.
Yeah.
More aliens are going to equal more money.
Yeah, that's true.
But so the most recent trilogy of Halloween, epic fail, true or false? And why is it true?
Very true. I mean, watch 2018. Is it 2018 Halloween? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not the biggest fan of it.
Same producers, Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. It's not like there's a change of captain on the ship, and it's like, wow, you like to do things differently. Like, same director, same everything, right? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Now, I watched that one. I thought, right, this is okay. Just okay. But you got to understand, I'm coming off Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Resurrection, okay? So this is my basis. And I watched Kills, and it was the stupidest film I watched. And, Evil Dies Tonight, Haddonfield had an combined IQ of 52. And then Halloween ends, and it ended the franchise, I put it that way.
How is Halloween Dies Tonight not on a t-shirt? I haven't seen that on a t-shirt. I feel like it would be on a t-shirt.
Make it.
It's a joke. Huh?
We should make it into a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's funny because I met Anthony Michael Hall at a convention last year, and he was extremely cool. I didn't see the third one. There was no way I was gonna get duped. This Corey nonsense. No. So, but I saw, which is the second one? Ends or Kills?
Kills,
right? Yeah. So I saw Kills, and I had heard, the murmurs about the chant, like Halloween Dies Tonight, like mentioned like 1,000 times or something. And it was ridiculous. But I met him at a convention, and he was super nice. And so, yeah, he was just one of the nicest names I've ever met, probably. And I mentioned that phrase, and he kind of chuckled. He was like, "Hey, man, check's cleared. A lot of money." It was like I know. He's like, I know it's ridiculous. It's silly,
Well, that's the thing.
But I don't know why they have brought him back for Halloween Ends. And if you're gonna do this evil transferring storyline, do it with Tommy Jarvis, or I mean, sorry, do it with Tommy Doyle. So many Tommies. Do it with Tommy Doyle, right? I mean, and then you give another name, a face, a recognizable face. Kind of, not that he needs the boost, but like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna see Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle offing people in Haddonfield. That's the way they're going. Like, I'd see that, right? But to bring in somebody that like I don't know, I don't recognize, and seems like it's just this character they pulled out of nowhere. I had problems with this whole trilogy from the start, man. 2018. Let me ask you this, and maybe I missed some details, and maybe the viewers or the listeners, they can fill me in if I missed some details. I don't know how many, you know, maybe there's like 4 people watching this thing right now.
40.
I'm sorry?
40. 40.
Oh, 40. Wow.
So everyone please hit that like button.
So James and I would technically be considered podcasters, right? Even though that whole that title really, that's, yeah. So why
We're
don't
film
James
critics,
and I,
God damn it.
I'm sorry?
I said, we're film critics, god damn it.
Well, what if these two film critic podcasters go to why don't we go to the nearest maximum security penitentiary, hospital, rehabilitation, whatever the fuck that was, Arkham Asylum. Why don't we go there, find the most notorious serial killer, the most dangerous prisoner or patient, whatever they have, and let's just show them that we have a show and that we want to interview said killer. I'm sure they're gonna just let us right in. There's no problem, right? Like, they're not even gonna check our bags, man. I bet we could actually sneak in something related to the killer. Well, how about a mask that could possibly trigger this guy and undo decades of therapy, right? So, but I know they're not going to check our bags, and we're podcasters. Theoretically, we could just say that, right? Because everybody knows that it's a cool thing, and we'll get full access, carte blanche to this maximum security hospital, penitentiary, prison thing. Sound good?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Ridiculous. Who are these? How did they get out? Why? Because they had British accents? I don't understand. They made no.
Don't underestimate the power of a British accent.
Yeah, let's not check this guy's bag to see if he maybe snuck in. Oh, I don't know, the mask that would definitely trigger if he isn't already, like, absurd. The best thing about this scene is the checkered floor. Leave that. Get rid of all the characters, or just have Michael standing there staring at the checkered floor, right? And then you kind of have this weird thing that, like, it's his move, right? And so I just came up with that. You're welcome. But Jesus, so when they died, I was very happy, right? They died in some like fucking truck stop bathroom or something. I was very happy to. I also hated that Dr. Zartan, Raisin Man, Jubilee Man, fake Loomis. We couldn't get Ian McShane, so we found this guy. Made him Zartan, the fucking doctor that ends up with this terrible. That part was great. The heel turn, which we all saw coming. Zartane, whatever, gets shot accidentally, so he's in a sling for most of the film. And the one character, mind you, did you like any of these characters besides the sheriff? Because that's the only character I thought was any good.
Yeah, I mean, what's the name of that actor again? He's a well-known actor. Yeah, he's a great actor. So I like him. After that, he was kind of forgotten about. Well, you thought in this film he died. Turns out he didn't.
It's the worst heel turn ever.
Yeah. I don't think there was any character I like at all in this movie. Because even the granddaughter, I guess she's supposed to be the new
No.
Laurie, and
Uh,
she was a little bit bearable in the first one, but after that, she became a pain. And in the third one, she chucked herself at this Corey guy, and I'm like,
they tried to turn her into
why?
Ripley.
Yeah, but that's her obsession now. You're not allowed to have damsels in distress. Like every female character has to be like a girl boss now. And like we just watched the original Halloween, and Laurie, she wasn't like a girl boss or anything like that. You know, she was lucky to survive. She was just a survivor. But now it's like, no, we
I
can't
love
have
what they did.
women as victims. We have to make them stronger than the villains.
Right. I mean, but I loved the Laurie Strode character they did in H2O. I thought that was
Yeah,
the most believable progression, if you can call it that, for how that character would have matured to that point in her life, right? Like, totally bought that whole thing. I love H2O. I think it's one of the better entries for
yeah,
sure.
I like it.
And I
I like
would love
H2O.
seeing a sequel. I know that a rumored uh there was a rumored sequel called Halloween Retribution, which would have had the return of Buster Rhymes' character, and then Josh Hartnett's character would have returned for that, apparently.
Right.
Like a mysterious uh, face in the past or something. Um, I'm not a fan of Resurrection. Uh, when the movie is most known for a line like "get
Trick or treat,
all
motherfucker.
the fucking snakes on the plane" kind of line. Yeah, what does he say?
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
To be fair, Buster Rhymes was awesome in that movie.
He
To be
had
fair,
to be. He had to be.
if he wasn't in that movie, then yeah, it would be the worst in the series. But because of Buster Rhymes, I it's
The best
it's
actor in
not
that
it's
movie is Ryan
yeah.
Merriman, and he plays the teenager who's at the computer in the party.
Yeah.
Actor wise, I feel like he's one of the better actors they had, easily. Um,
Wasn't he in it as well? Fucking thingy out of American Pie.
yeah, Thomas Ian Nichols,
That's right. Yeah, he's in it as well, isn't he? Yeah.
League of Their Own. Wait, was a no? What was the movie where he plays like Harry Baumgartner or something? He's a baseball player and he hurts his arm.
Oh,
And
yeah. Shoot. I know what you mean. I watched it, funny enough, like last year with the kids.
I like that movie. Yeah. Anyways, like he gets jobbed. Everyone, you're none of these characters are written for you to like them, and I
Yeah.
think that's always an issue because you think, oh well, everyone just wants to see the kills and all that stuff. It's like, well, you want the people to have some sort of connection, So like, if you write most of your characters knowing they're gonna die, but you make them unlikable, like, what's the point? So I'm not a
The
fan
big
of that.
the big thing it done as well, which you kind of forget about it. It kind of retconned Michael's childhood because in this, and what at first I thought, did they just put it in because of the show they was filming? But no, they opened up this passage to this cave, and you see this high chair where apparently Michael's been strapped in his early childhood, eating rats
I
and
thought
shit.
they put that in there. I thought that was what the production put in there.
No, I think that's what was actually happening.
No, I think that was what the production put in there. I don't
Oh, right.
know.
I hope I'm wrong
Maybe.
then.
I didn't honestly. Yeah, that you could be right. I don't know. And if they did, then even dumber. That. Yeah, I not a fan of Resurrection. Um, 2 for some reason is one that kind of drifts by me. It's not, the whole thing takes place in the hospital, and I like
Yeah.
it, but it seems too
Yeah,
similar
but
to 1 way. And with 1, let me ask you, with the classic, the original, the one that really started so much of this, uh, or was a obviously a pillar to all this. Did you find yourself bored watching parts of it? Like you did, right? You can
So,
say that. Hey,
so there's a channel I love, Decker Shadow. Big shout out to him. He done a series of Summer of Freddy v Jason, but he's great. If ever you get time, Paul, check out his videos, Decker Shadow. He does a breakdown of it, of a scene by scene of a movie, but it'll be like 20 minutes long. But he's great. And even he said, this is so overrated. and you do watch it, that not a lot happens in it till like the final third of the movie. Like, I love the opening, obviously, and then you got
yeah,
the part where he escapes the mental hospital, mental crazy asylum, whatever. I don't know what the political correct way to say it these days.
climbing over the car and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. But then there's a whole lot of nothing, and till the final third, basically.
Yeah, I didn't. When I watch it back now, there's this shot of him walking behind her as she's leaving, going across the street, to get away from him. Like to me, that's the main. To me, that's one of the best scenes in terms of tension. But you really only kind of have that one scene in the closet scene. But
Mm.
I mean, it's a slow burn in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
But
I think we both said that number
time
four is
was
our favorite.
really establishing, Laurie Strode. So there's that. Now, what'd you think of like the Rob Zombie ones?
Interesting's a word for it. Um, I hated the girl that played Laurie. Scout Taylor Thompson,
Oh,
something like that her name is.
yeah.
She wasn't too bad in the first one. In the second one, I just wanted her to die. She was just so insufferable, and obviously, shit was Danielle Harris. She played Annie in the remake, and she was great in both films. First one was, I did enjoy it. There was a backstory to him, and it showed you he had psychotic tendencies. He was like killing animals, which is an early sign for a serial killer. And the thing is, with Rob Zombie film, you know what you're getting with Rob Zombie film. Every person in Rob Zombie film is a scumbag. Um, I did now. I say it because I like Ken Foray, but my favorite character in the Rob Zombie's Halloween was Big Joe Grizzly.
Yeah. He ran the strip club, right?
No, he was in the, like the truck stop, and he has a
Oh, that's
fight
right.
with
That's right.
Michael.
Right. That's right.
Big Joe, Big Joe Grizzly.
Bathroom, like the scene in the bathroom, the stalls, right? I think.
Yeah. I spoke to Ken Foray about that. I said, when are we getting a Joe Grizzly movie? He says, I'm trying to make it happen. He said, I spoke to Rob. We're trying to make it happen. And I would love that. There's a TV series for Big Joe Grizzly. Well, the first one I don't mind so much, but the second one's just terrible.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Love the first one, minus the backstory bullshit. But the second one to me it's not. It's something completely else that I wouldn't put.
Well, yeah, and
It's something
even
that.
like Malcolm McDowell's Loomis, and I love Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, they shit
Uh,
all over the Loomis character. They just destroy that whole thing.
yeah,
It's not good. And I think they shot that in Georgia, or in Atlanta or something. Whereas like the first one that he did, they shot literally right there in South Pasadena where they shot the original. So yeah, I like the first one a lot. Again, minus the backstory stuff. And I thought, uh, what's his name that plays Michael Myers?
oh,
He was a
Tyler
wrestler.
Main.
Tyler Mane. Yes, he was Sabretooth, and
Yeah.
he was a wrestler in WCW for a while, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love his stuff. I think him and I would say like him and Derek Mears in terms of like the big uh stunt but also actor type guys. I think like those two guys are awesome. Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
Mace played Jason in the Friday 13th reboot, didn't they?
Yeah. And he also
Yeah.
played he was also the
Something.
Swamp Thing, yeah, in the 2019 series, also starring Will Patton as the big
Yes.
villain. So that one's pretty awesome. I highly recommend that. For those of you that haven't gone out and trick or treated yet, please be safe and be aware of your surroundings and check your candy and all that stuff. Your razor blade apples and your cyanide pixie sticks. Yeah, just be wary out there. Be aware of your surroundings, please. For all you trick or treaters. And for those of you answering the door to trick or treaters, be aware of your surroundings. Hopefully, I don't know if you have a ring camera or something. I don't have one of those. Do you have one of those? Those ring camera deals? You can see who's at your door? No? What happened to your audio?
I put myself on mute.
You
Sorry.
muted
Yeah,
yourself.
I do. I do.
You do? You have one of those things you can see who's at your door and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? You hear the doorbell ring, you think it's trick or treaters, some like overgrown like ogre with a hump holding an axe. Like they're gonna maybe not answer the door. I don't know. Maybe you will. I think it's a good costume. Just be wary out there. A lot of weirdos out there. They think Halloween is Purge night or something. So
Speaking of
but
Purge
have
night,
fun. Safe out
are you a
there.
fan of
What's
the
that?
movies? Speaking of Purge night, you're a
Not
fan of the movies?
really. I
No?
mean, I was it Ethan Hawke in the first one, I think.
Yeah. And
And then Frank Grillo takes over.
yeah, pretty
And
much.
I don't mind Frank Grillo, but to me, he's not the lead. I'm gonna like, I don't know. It's okay. I'm not, I feel like those movies, yeah, I don't know. They're just, to me, they're kind of like a visual video game. And it's similar where, you get your pocket of people and you either care about them or you don't. You usually don't because they're just not written very well. Or they don't get a chance to really do anything. So then when they get killed, you're like, okay, at least they're gone, and starting to like pare down the people we're following. And then I feel like the monsters or the killers and the purge, it's like they're really the people who created it, I feel like are really trying so hard to make something that'll be like the new Halloween hit costume or the new, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I don't just not there, not for me. I'm not big on the. Did you watch the series or any of those? Like, there's some Western one, right? It's like a prequel or something. I don't fucking know.
No, it's a sequel again, actually. I've watched
Western?
them. I like what, the Purge.
Yeah, there's like some Western one, isn't there?
It's not. It's weird because on the poster you think it's a Western one. It's not. It's just like it's in the fucking. I don't know if it's like Texas actually. It's in.
You're right. I think it is in Texas. I saw
But
this
it's present day. It's present day. But no, well, the latest horror movie I watched, Five Nights at Freddy's. I spoke to you about it.
Is it a
I
horror
love.
or a horror comedy?
That's a good question. Probably a bit of both. It's more of a. That's a good question.
Oh, it's
I
got
would say it's a
Matthew Lillard
horror.
in it, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't really play it for laughs. I don't want to spoil it.
That's what makes it funny, though, if he doesn't play it for laughs. He played it for
Yeah,
laughs.
but now watched it with the boys and loved it. But they've
What's
played
it
all the
about?
games.
Give me a quick synopsis. What's it about? I know it's
All
about
right,
like an
so
abandoned amusement park or something, or Chuck E. Cheese or something.
yeah, it's more like a Chuck E. Cheese. So it's originally like a video game, like for you on your phone, and you play a security guard, and you have to check the cameras, and these animatronics comes alive at the night time, and you basically have to make sure they don't kill you, basically. Um, so there's backstory, which I had no idea. This backstory. Apparently, the guy who owns this Freddy Fazbear's, which is essentially like Chuck E. Cheese, the guy was like a psychopath, and he murdered these 5 kids. And these 5 kids, he ended up chucking their bodies inside these animatronics, because these animatronics, they was made for being able just to control by remote, or for someone to actually wear the suit. So he chucked their bodies into these suits, and like I guess their spirit or whatever possessed the suits. He gets, yeah, it's fucking out there. I was like, really? This is what you're playing? But no, it was a good film. I enjoyed it.
Nice. Who plays the proprietor of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Matthew Yillard.
Oh, he's the owner guy.
He's
Who
the other
kills
guy, yeah. So someone said, James, is it okay for kids though? We all watched horror movies as kids, let's be honest. So don't
No,
worry
I know,
about
but
it.
like, is it?
It's not gruesome.
Yeah.
No, it's not gruesome or anything. I think it might actually be PG-13 or 12A over here. I think it is. Actually, I think it is. But there's no gore or anything like that.
I see a comment from Broken Ascendancy saying it's more for gamers. If you're familiar with the gaming thing, I guess you'll get a lot of the inside references and whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just kind of looking through some of these comments here. I am curious about Five Nights at Freddy's, though. I mean, I'm curious about it because I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese and all those kind of things, and the animatronics. Those are extremely expensive, by the way, to restore those. There's people that collect those and restore them. Caitlin Brannigan, I'm not familiar with Gorbel's Vampire, but I'll need to look that one up and mark it down because it sounds, I'm intrigued. Gorbel's Vampire. I'm curious. Krispy Kreme is saying candy corn is the most underrated. I hope, is he talking about the movie or the candy?
No idea.
I can't tell. Maybe he's talking about the movie, starring one of my acting coaches, one Courtney Gaines. I think he's in Candy Corn. What about Strippers vs. Werewolves? Does that wet your whistle? Is that curious? What about that, James? Have you seen that? I've never seen it.
I think I have.
Really? With Robert? Is Robert Englund in it?
I'm pretty sure Robert Englund pops up in it for some weird reason.
Oh God.
I've been watching some. I tell you, Amazon's got so many like random films and like real low budget films, and sometimes I come across them. I thought, oh, I'll stick this on, and then I'm like, yeah, I've just wasted not even the full movie. I've just like wasted half an hour of my life.
Which one?
Just like these random films that's on Amazon.
Oh, they're made for nothing, or they're like all digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a. Let's see. Apparently, it's a Glasgow urban legend. Glasgow urban legend. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Some of the vampires. That's creepy. Apparently, it's on Amazon. Is Mulholland Drive a horror movie? Depends whose point of view you're in. Are you gonna watch any more horror movies tonight? Anything else tonight?
Probably they are. Just answer this for Carl though. Yeah, he's fine to watch. I mean, it's a horror. I think it's only like a 12A, so it's not like it's an 18 or a 15 even.
Is it PG?
It's 12A. So basically, if you went to the cinema, so if it's 12A, so basically we use our PG-13 over there. So for example, if my boys went to the cinema to watch it, they couldn't watch it without an adult, basically.
Do they really enforce that?
They do, actually, because my eldest, so he's 9, and him and his friends, and they're like same sort of age. The eldest one's probably 10. They wanted to go and watch the new Blue Beetle, but because it was a 12A, they wasn't allowed to watch it. And Blue Beetle was a superhero movie with the kid from Cobra Kai in it.
They weren't. What the hell's going on in Blue Beetle? that a 9-year-old wouldn't be able to watch.
Well, that's what I
Exploding
mean.
buildings and bullshit.
Yeah, so they settled with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They're the same movie.
I
Come
know,
on,
I know.
get
Well,
out of here.
one's animated. I guess that's the excuse, but yeah.
Oh,
So
well, I'll tell you what
the,
What's your favorite PG-13 horror movie off the top of your head?
ooh, that's a good question. I mean, to be honest, yeah, even though I've only just seen it
I
recently.
avoid them like that. I fucking avoid them, man.
Yeah, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's was all right, so, and that's a PG-13 apparently.
But were you ever actually scared watching it? Like, was there anything that you were kind of like,
Oh
oh
no,
god?
no.
Or was there anything where you were kind of like, man, if that happened to me, like I would piss myself?
No, I mean, I guess if you was a security guard 2 a.m. in the morning at this empty Chuck E. Cheese thing,
What
what's
do you
been deserted for 20 years, and
What do you
these
expect?
animatronics is moving, I guess that would scare you.
I mean, yeah, but what are the chances that you're gonna be a security guard in an abandoned 20-year-old fucking whatever, you know what
Well,
I'm saying? So,
well, if it was, someone commented, "Drag Me to Hell." That's a good answer, Trove.
that's what I was gonna say. Was
Right,
Drag Me to Hell. Thank you. Who was that? Who they
Phil
just?
Brooks, swollen testicle,
Oh
CM
God!
Punk.
Jumping over from the cafe, Mr. Swole. I was gonna say Drag Me to Hell as well. To me, that is the most perfect PG-13 horror film there is. I'm sure there's one out there, some classic that I'm forgetting about. It can't be too classic, right? Because was it Temple of Doom? I think was that one of that was the first or one of that was like what brought in the PG-13 rating. Apparently, was Temple of Doom. I think.
Right.
Yeah, Temple of Doom is what I think established the PG-13 rating. Uh, but yeah,
So I'm
go
just
ahead.
looking here. It says apparently Insidious is a. Oh, no, that's a 15. I was gonna say because Insidious is fucking scary at times.
I believe it though, because they're just here's the thing: when a studio takes a movie and they're sitting here thinking, oh, this is going to get an R rating, they then will think, oh, we need to rework this to make it PG-13 so we can get more people in the cinema. Because if teenagers and everything are turned away, and most of the audience for horror films are going to be teenagers anyways, right? Because a lot of these movies can and should be kind of like date movies, whatever. So if your films are, and now you're stuck at like kind of this 18 or up or 21 and up, then you're eliminating a huge, like a majority of what, not a majority, but a huge mega portion of your audience, right? And so
Oh
that's
well, I mean,
what I
let's say it how it is. Horror movies are made for teenagers. I would say
Maybe
so. I've been watching horror movies
I don't
since I was like 4.
I disagree. I don't think horror movies are not made for teenagers.
But they appeal to them.
It does appeal to them because, like I said, I think that it's a so if you're a teenager and you're going on a date and it's possibly even like the first date, right? And you're like, oh, let's go to a movie. Maybe you live in a small town, and that's what you do, right? You go to the drive-in, or you go to the bowling alley, and then you go to the movie after. Um, are you
Get
gonna
lucky,
pick
you
the
get the second
drama?
base.
Are you gonna pick the drama film that could be slow and boring as shit and like depress either of you or both of you or whatever? Are you gonna pick the comedy that sometimes can be a safe choice, but it can also be so bad that it just kills whatever excitement or enthusiasm. Or are you gonna pick like, the horror movie that like even if it's really fucking bad, you can still kind of laugh about it and talk over it, but
Hmm.
there's hopefully consistent anticipation of getting scared, right? It's like again, I think that's ultimately why horror films are so successful, because there's just
Yeah.
a rooted part of the human psyche that relishes that kind of excitement and adrenaline rush. It's it's a different type of adrenaline junkie in a way. So then you get more addicted to the hope of being scared, right? Because that's where when I asked you, was there anything in Five Nights at Freddy's that, if you put yourself in those shoes, sure, like, yeah, if you happen to be, a whatever, but a security guard at a abandoned thing, of course. But then when I think of like Drag Me to Hell, Sam Raimi is like so masterful and just, I mean, that movie is so stylistic, right? It's like it's got his paint strokes like all over the entire thing. It's his film,
Yeah,
right? But
you
like
know what you're watching. Yeah.
everything stylistic, from the tapping of the nails to like the over the top vomit regurgitation from the old gypsy woman, to the ruler in her mouth, and yeah, I mean, just all these things. Every gag is like over the top. You know what I
Like
mean?
Evil Dead, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but that also makes it like fun and kind of,
Yeah.
so it's done so well, because so many of the best horror films. This is what really made Scream such a landmark film. Was that, a great horror film is kind of the perfect balance of terror and jokes. Because if it's just like terror, 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 right? And you end up getting something kind of like Cannibal Holocaust, um, or even like for viewers, more recently, like say like Green Inferno, which is the nod to those cannibal genre films. But if it's just so grotesque and there's no, oh, you can have a chuckle. Like, you need that humor to kind of add some levity to the tension
Yeah.
that you're experiencing constantly, or or it can make a lot of people sick. That's why, like, like Terrifier 2. My friend Damien Leon, his big baby, it's exploded, and I'm so happy for him. He's a great guy, amazing makeup artist, and awesome director and FX guy. But Terrifier 2, I didn't see Terrifier 2 yet, but that was the big hype, right? Everyone's throwing up in the theater. Everyone's leaving the theater sick, throwing up.
Can we expect to see you in part 3?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Terrifier 2, the Terrifier films would definitely end up on the video nasties, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would.
It would.
It would,
I
right?
remember.
It's like,
I remember.
on there.
I remember Video Nasties and Chainsaw Massacre, the original. It was banned over here for the longest time,
Yeah.
and it was like 2003, 2004, and it started advertising on Channel 4. It's been banned for 30/40 years. What do you call it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre will be premiering on Channel 4. And my mother told me about it. I remember getting it on video as a kid or like as a teenager. She says it's always been banned. She says it's so violent. So I'm like, oh, this must be pretty good, and it is good, and we really did enjoy it. But yeah, the
There's also
British,
moments it's boring. There's slow parts,
yeah,
right?
but yeah, the exciting parts. I think it's a better film than Halloween.
I agree. I think it's a better film than Halloween. Um, but again, I'll get a lot of shit for this. But in terms of like pacing and thrills, I'll choose the 2003
Remake.
redo, because it's just faster, right? Same cinematographer, Daniel Pearl, same DP, right? So it looks great. It looks fucking amazing. but it still has like everything's there. The atmosphere, the characters, you establish the characters, you care for them. You get the personalities of each one. The guy who we really feel is going to be our lead, boom, first one off, right? So like, I mean, it's so effective. There's so many things that are effective in that remake of 2003 that I think it's one of the most underrated remakes. To me, it's Platinum Dune's best movie,
Yeah.
easily.
And he played the is it Earl Haney? I forgot his name. He played like the police. The family. He played like the police. Well, he was like a garage attendant. Sorry,
Arlie Ermy.
That's right. Yeah, he's great in it.
Yeah, he's incredible, right? Full Metal Jacket. Did you ever see Saving Silverman?
No.
Saving Silverman is this ridiculous comedy, like ridiculous comedy, right? Like so it's got just some absurd fucking gags. But it's Steve Zahn, Jason Biggs. Jason Biggs is
fuck! I have seen it.
Jack Black, right?
Yes, I have seen it. Yeah, they're obsessed with Neil Diamond.
Yeah, they're upset. They're in a Neil Diamond cover band.
That's it. Yeah.
And Jason Biggs gets into this relationship with this character played by Amanda Peet, and she's just this ball buster, like won't let him do anything, won't let him hang out with the friends, like just they hate her. They hate her. And so they keep trying to find ways to like break them up or like set them up and like all this shit. And like, yeah, it's just hilarious. But Arlie Ermy is hilarious in that.
Doesn't he hook up with Jack Black in the end?
Yeah, well, they get married because like Jack Jack Black realizes he's gay. Like, that's one of Jack Black's most underrated movies. That's one of his most underrated roles. And Steve Zahn. I mean, I love that movie. It's so funny. But Arlie Ermy was great in that. But yeah, he was amazing. I mean, I think like there's this scene going back to that 2003 remake. There's this scene with Jonathan Tucker, who played Morgan, the more intellectual of the group, and it's when they get busted and they're in the cop car. That whole scene in the cop car, there's so much tension from that drive, and then he turns and he smacks him with the gun and he busts his teeth out, or he spits his teeth out. But they get to that point where there's so much tension in that scene where he's asking him to reenact how the girl shot herself, and he's just like, and he hands him the gun and he like puts it up to his chin. He's like, no, that was like she had a hole in the back of her head. Put it in your mouth, and you're sitting here and you're just like, oh my god, like this is like that to me is one of the greatest scenes, not just in that movie, but in the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre live. Like that scene in the car with Arlie Ermy and Jonathan Tucker. Jonathan Tucker made himself. He got to where he had the gun down his throat so much he throws up in that scene. Wow. If you go back and watch it, so he actually got himself to throw. He throws up over the gun, and yeah, it's just amazing. And then he turns the gun on him, obviously, and it's not loaded, and he pulls the trigger. Yeah, fucking awesome. I love that movie so much. And then The Beginning came out, which I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but that's when I learned to try to learn. Originally, I was going to read for the Matt Bomer character who played, I think, Eric. And then it turned out I ended up reading for the biker character that Arlie Ermy played. Right. So when I was going up for the biker thing, I was like, I should learn how to ride a motorcycle. And I aced the week of classroom stuff, but then when it came to actually writing it, Some of us just aren't meant to ride motorcycles, and I'm one of them. I was like the
You're
first one voted off the island, man. They were like, "You're a bit dangerous. We're gonna have to ask you to
you're
leave."
you're very passionate about the Chainsaw Massacre. Obviously, as a fellow native Texan, I would imagine so. And like, has it ever? I know you've been writing scripts. You've told me about them, but is that some sort of a passion project you would like to do one day, like a Chainsaw Massacre, in
Absolutely.
your vision?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I was so happy that like Matt Bomer was in it because he's from Houston.
Yes.
Um, and so yeah, yeah, I think you can't grow up in Texas, especially as an actor, and especially as an actor who loves horror films, and not have a sense of pride for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. What Toby Hooper did, Daniel Pearl. I mean, Ted Nicolau was on that production in Austin. He was a UT film student as well. Ted Nicolau did the Subspecies franchise and has done an insane amount of movies for Full Moon and Empire. Um, so I mean, he was one of those guys on the crew in Austin, and sadly now, like I mean, they've moved to that house. It's now like a bed and breakfast. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, I believe it's been moved, and it's like a bed and breakfast. The gas station, I believe, is also up and running, and they sell barbecue and they do screenings. So they really make use of it. There's a cool bench outside of the gas station that's made of like the chainsaws and stuff like that. So, but yeah, absolutely, that's an absolute dream to have anything to do with that franchise.
What
But I
would you
really wish,
do?
yeah.
Sorry, what? Because like it always piques my interest when I like love to talk about stuff like this. Would you have it set, say, a few months or a couple of years after the original, or would you bring it present day, or would you go back to 70s or even 80s?
Uh, I would do several things.
Hmm.
Um, I would find a way. I would figure out a way to make it contemporary.
Right.
So I'd make it present day. So that would obviously offer a whole slew of challenges in terms of like phones and technology and social media and blah 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 blah. But like the most recent one showed and used as one of those levity moments that I was talking about. Unfortunately for them, there was no terror or scares anyway in the movie, so
I
people were
was
already
I was
laughing.
cheering on Leatherface during that whole
Yeah,
movie.
people, yeah, exactly. Like you're already laughing at this crap, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
one of the worst. Uh, I mean, let's just call it how it is, right? So, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D is the worst thing presented in that has a character named Leatherface in it. That if you
Hmm.
want to watch the bottom of the barrel with shit on it, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, right? Not filmed in Texas, filmed in Louisiana. Garbage, absolute garbage, absolute dog shit, garbage. Um, but it has a few valid points to it, and I think, well, it only has one redeeming quality, I'll say, and to me that would be uh, an old pal of mine that I met many years ago, and we became pals, and he was extremely cool. But Paul Ray, and he plays the main. He turns out to kind of be the main villain, right? He's like the mayor of this
Hmm.
town, or the head sheriff, or whatever the fuck his role is. I don't even remember what his role was, but he's the one who's the main villain here, right? So if you're not familiar with Texas Chainsaw 3D, uh, guess what? There's a Leatherface babyface turn. Compliments of Alexandria My eyes are up here. Daddario, where she kicks him chainsaw. She slide kicks or something him the chainsaw when Paul Ray's evil mayor sheriff guys beating Leatherface down, and she delivers the famous line. What is it, James?
What's it? Go kill him, cuz.
Do your thing, cuz.
That's right.
Slides the fucking tank. Do your thing, cuz. Oh my god! So if you're gonna watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, I'll just spoil it for you right now. Trey Songz, he sucks. I couldn't name you a single one of his songs. That guy sucks. And he doesn't even get killed by Leatherface. He gets killed in a car accident. In like a van accident. So talk about jobber Trey Songz. Mexican friend, unlikable. Can't stand her. Terrible. Sean Sipos plays like the hitchhiker guy they pick up. He goes down into the basement, whatever. Nah, whatever. Turns out to be it's crap. It's crap. Not a fan of any of these Texas Chainsaw movies filmed outside of Texas. It's just not the way it should be. With the exception being Leatherface, which is filmed in Newhall, right behind Six Flags, Magic Mountain. Sorry, I can go on and on and
on. There's two good things about that movie. I'll leave it at that.
She's a fucking Hamburglar. I don't understand. Like, and they put the eye makeup on her so she looks like a raccoon, even more like a burglar. So she literally looks like the Hamburglar in that, man. I don't understand it. Who's a fan of Texas Chainsaw 3D? Is there anyone in the comments that's a fan of this crap for like actual decent reasons? I would love to remake Phantasm.
Phantasm.
Phantasm remake would be amazing, and Don Coscarelli's still alive. I would love Halloween. You guys are fun, man. Thank y'all for listening and hanging out with us. Yeah, no, this is cool. I hope y'all are having a great, safe holiday. I could go on and on and on about Massacre, Texas Chainsaw, the whole thing. I loved Andrew Bryanarski as Leatherface. I thought he was amazing. And he apparently, he's kind of like a method actor. So he apparently was like getting like super into it. But he only did like the 2 films, right? 2003 and then like The Beginning.
He's outspoken as well. Like he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, he's friends with Van Damme and Rob Van Dam, and so Rob would tell me some stories sometimes about how just wild this guy is, right? Or like he's just kind of a maniac, right? I think he played that character in
played Chip in Batman Returns.
Yeah, Christopher Walken's son. But he's in a football movie. I didn't see it. I think with Al Pacino or something. But anyways, yeah, Andrew Bryanarski. Look at that neck, man. This guy's just like, he's huge. And like, if you think about it, that chainsaw is a real deal chainsaw. It's a full deal chainsaw. So like, I saw an interview with him where he's talking about like how that chainsaw was like 75 pounds or some ridiculous, you know what I mean? And he's like running, or it was like 50 or 75 pounds, and he's like having to like run carrying this thing, and like, and he's got the full costume on and the leather apron and the prosthetics, and like that's tough. Like, that's tough, man.
Yeah, he played Zangief in Street Fighter as well.
Zangief, yes, that's what it was. There was some football movie, but yeah, Zangief. That's funny.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. There it is. No, I think it was a different one though. Maybe it wasn't that one.
Don't know. I'm not an American football fan, I'm afraid.
Somebody was like laying in the middle of the street in the movie, and all these football players started. I don't watch football.
Go.
He's also in Black Mask 2. I think that's where him and Van Damme met and became friends. The Chewy Hawk directed Black Mask 2.
Yeah, he should get more roles because he's like, he's massive. So, like I said, Chainsaw Massacre, like the remake, I thought he was perfect in that role. He played it really well.
Yeah. Did you see the last one? I thought he was great as Leatherface. You're absolutely right. Did you see the last one, the Netflix one?
Was it filmed in like Romania or somewhere? Bulgaria. Like I said, I was cheering on Leatherface because I just hated everyone else in it. Besides the one guy, who was like the local.
Kind of made to think if he's a bad guy at the beginning. You're like, oh, he's gonna be like a racist, like townie. Are you talking about like he was the first one killed, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and he was actually one of the characters I actually liked, and then I just wanted everyone else to die. And then what was
that character had balls?
What was the name of what was the character's name in the original who survived? It was like Sarah or Jessica or something like that. Sally
Hardesty.
Well, they bring, it's a different actress, but they bring Sally back into it, and basically they turn her into Laurie Strode from 2018 Halloween.
It's so bad.
And she refers to him as Leatherface. It's Leatherface. I'm like, he's never been called that in any of the movies. This is the first time. Leatherface is something the fans give him. He's never been called Leatherface in any movie. It was terrible. But I just can't understand people. People online's like, this is great. This is awesome. I'm like, am I watching the same fucking movie?
Yeah. I cheered when she died, finally. Because she's like kept kicking out of shit. I was like, what? She's invincible. But I cheered when she finally died. Spoilers for everybody, sorry. And I cheered at the end when the self-driving Tesla takes off with our not one but two sisterly final girls, only to see one of them, I think she's like celebrating outside of the goddamn like moonroof or sunroof or something, and gets her head fucking sawed right off. I liked that because I was like, oh, I can't stand either of these girls. Oh, okay, at least one of them's fucking dead.
It's so fucking stupid.
A single person in the cast, character-wise, that you get. Look at that. Just all this. Who gives a flying fuck about any of these people? Any of them? Nobody. So, yeah.
Yeah.
The less about that one, the better. But Texas Chainsaw in Romania and Bulgaria. Did you see? Was it just called Leatherface? I think the prequel, super duper prequel with Steven Dorff.
Yeah, is that like how we? Because it's like a red herring. Because there's this big quiet lad. This one's in like a mental hospital, isn't it? And there's this big quiet lad, and you kind of assume it's him, but no, it ends up being this skinny kid.
Yeah.
I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, that was a forced hook, like a forced swerve kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because it was just, that couldn't have been more obvious. Like, oh no, this is Leatherface, this big ogre kid that looks like Mankind. No, it's this blonde kid right here, the blonde surfer dude. He's actually Leatherface. He got his face fucked up, and now he's wearing a fucking leather jockstrap on his face. So he's not so cool and surfer sexy anymore. He's gonna, he's only 18, he's 19, whatever. He's gonna grow up and just get worse and fatter from here.
So
start eating Bluebell ice cream and barbecue. He's gonna be on a diet of barbecue and Bluebell ice cream and Whataburger. And he's fucked now. He's gonna get so fat, and he's gonna work at a goddamn what the fuck a Hewitt or the well, I don't even know what the name of the town is. That doesn't matter. But when you work at a meat packing company and you eat nothing but Whataburger, barbecue, and what did we say it was?
That's
It doesn't matter.
syrup.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
I watched that the other night, the new Evil Dead movie.
Okay.
Evil Dead Rise.
I can't.
It's okay. It's okay.
Is there any Bruce Campbell reference? Not anything?
There's a chainsaw.
Yeah.
It was all right, but I'm not going to watch it again anytime soon.
So I felt about Frank.
But it was all right. Is Necronomicon in it? Yeah, there is. But I don't know. That's the only problem with like these classics, what you love, and they keep milking them, and it's like I don't know, like because they're doing the Friday the 13th series, ain't they?
Right, and there is a Jason in that. And it's played by an adult actor, so I would imagine they're not doing the like little kid. They do. It's flashback. I'm not really sure, but don't you think with the Evil Dead thing, they're telling themselves, oh my God, like everybody associates this franchise with this one actor. He's getting older, grumpier, and less of a joy to be around and work with. Well, when he's done, like, we need to still make money off of this property somehow. Let's start revamping the name Evil Dead under this premise of a ghost story, possession, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that way we can continue to make money off of this property without him, right? And that's my holdup personally, where I'm thinking I wasn't such a fan of the Evil Dead movies. I was mostly a fan of Army of Darkness. I was a fan of Army of Darkness. To me, it's like a very standalone kind of bit.
To
But
the other two, yeah.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed it, right? And I liked Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, but they're kind of
I like
repetitive.
2 the best.
Yeah, and so, so with this like new set of movies and stuff like that, even if they had Bruce Campbell, I don't know that I would be up
I
for
forgot
them.
if he was in it.
You would hope he would do at least a cameo or something, appear on the TV like Johnny Depp and Freddy's Dead, do something, right?
Yeah, I know he promoted it. So rather he had some writing credit on it. I don't know. Probably did. I don't remember seeing him in the movie, and if he was in it, it must have been like really brief because I don't remember him being in it. But yeah, because they're talking about doing they are doing something with Freddy. I don't know if it's a prequel. I don't know if it's a sequel. I don't know if it's a TV series, but they are doing something with it.
Who is?
I think Blumhouse.
No, that's just rumor bullshit. Come on.
Blumhouse has pretty much got everything now. Like I said, I watched they done Five Nights at Freddy's. I enjoyed that. But they had Halloween. I got no interest in watching The Exorcist. I don't know what they're gonna do with Nightmare on Elm Street. I might just leave it how it is. I've told you my ideas, what they should do with it, and it would make it a lot better. But I don't know what they'll do with it. And fuck, man, especially for like today's audience, modern audience, I can only imagine. Do you know there's a new Goosebumps TV series on Disney Plus?
I do not.
I turned it off within 3 minutes.
Did it not have the iconic theme music?
Theme song,
but story?
There were so many forced things into it, and I'm like, yeah, I can't watch this with my kids. I have to turn it off.
You know which movie I did like of the last, I don't know, however long, definitely within the last 10 years, maybe the last 5 years. You made me think about it because of the Goosebumps thing, but was the the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie.
Right.
And my theory, funny, I should just remember that, is that they were so uncreative for this last Leatherface movie that I feel somebody was watching Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or was walking by somewhere and there was the disc of that or the cover of it, and I saw the scarecrow on the cover of the poster for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they thought, oh, that's Leatherface. That's fucking Leatherface. If you watch this last Texas Chainsaw, whatever, don't even call it. Just call it Chainsaw Massacre.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, it's like CSI Bulgaria now.
Yeah.
Hey, Chainsaw starts with the C. So if you watch that Chainsaw Massacre that was filmed in Bulgaria, just do yourself watch the trailer. There's this fucking scene of sunflowers and it's like a gopher, like Leatherface just like bloop, and like pops up like right in the middle of it. Bloop. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? That's it's hilarious. I'm like, this is the most CGI pop up out of the sunflowers. What is this?
I know the scene you're talking about now. Yes,
it's ridiculous. It's so funny, unintentionally. But Leatherface looks like the Scarecrow on the poster. You know, I might even have. Well, just trust me on this. He looks like a fucking fat Scarecrow, and it's bad. It's bad. So, either which way, the less said, the better. But you know they're gonna come back with more. They always do.
Yeah. Left on sequel bait, definitely.
Did you like the McConaughey one? New Generation?
I've seen bits of it. I don't think... Is that the one when it was like the Illuminati was involved and stuff?
Yeah. The Illuminati, weird Illuminati storyline, like subplot.
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger. And Sable making a cameo as a police officer who pulls over one of the
I thought it was Deborah
at a drive-through. Yeah, one of the family members played by Tony Perinsky. Surprised I can remember that name because she was an acting coach in Austin. She's going through the drive-through, and Renee Zellweger's in the trunk. She's making some noise, and there's a cop car that pulls up behind her, and then like a guy and a girl cop get out, and the female cop is Sable.
I thought it was Deborah, not Sable.
Whatever the. Oh wait. Oh, you're right. It is Deborah.
Deborah, isn't it?
They're both blonde, white blondes. What's that? Yeah,
no,
it was
that's
Deborah.
Right. It was Deborah. Yeah.
It is. What was Sable in? I don't remember. Probably some softcore fucking bullshit. Yeah, it's Deborah. Deborah, that's right. I'm sorry, Deborah. I'm sorry. But she has.
She's
I don't
not
think
watching, Paul. Don't worry.
2 lines or something. Well, she seems a lot nicer than Sable. I only met Sable like twice. But that was fun. That movie, if you're a Matthew McConaughey fan, watch this movie. He's incredible in this movie. It's awesome. He owns the whole thing. The entire thing is him. It's awesome. And he's crazy, and he's a villain, and he's got a mechanical fucking leg with a remote control that doesn't really work, and he is the reason to watch this movie. So it's great. Yeah. I'm trying to think of. So you're not gonna watch anything else, huh? I might pop something. I'm not really sure. Something spooky.
I'm gonna finish off Ghost Ship, and
how do you like it so?
It's not bad. I had bad reviews about it, but I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. But it reminds.
never seen it. I've never seen it. I like them. I love Desmond Harrington. I like Carl Urban, who I didn't even know was in that. You just said
Gabriel
he's.
Byrne's in it.
What's the premise of it?
So, so basically, it shows it from the 1960s, like a flashback. There's this massive accident on this cruise liner, basically, and loads of people die. Fast forwards to 2002, and there's like there's a ship wreckage crew what finds ship wreckages and stuff, and they see this ocean liner and they get aboard it, and they find gold and all sorts of shit, and all these weird things starts happening. Like they start hearing noises, they start seeing ghosts and shit, and there's. Have you heard of the actress Emily Browning?
Maybe.
She was in that. Do you remember that Lemony Snickets with Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see it.
She's in it. She's only like a little girl in it, but she starts communicating with one of the other female characters, and she tells her like what happened and stuff, and it's not bad.
So this cruise ship just mysteriously reappears on the harbor or something, or what?
I don't know if it just reappears or they just came across it where no one else has, but there's been stories of this cruise line like it went missing, no one knows where it went. Oh, here's a movie.
Desmond Harrington character play? What's he play?
Now that there's been a bit of a reveal here, so I need to watch the rest of the movie to see what's happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'll find out. But I will say this: I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it, and I loved it. Event Horizon.
Event Horizon was playing at the cinema when I worked there, and that's what, Sam Neill?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good one.
Yes, I remember someone's because didn't The Rock do Doom? Have you heard of the Doom franchise video games?
As well. Also with Carl
11.
Urban.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a fun movie. It's not great, but it's a fun movie to watch.
He dies. He's like, I'm not supposed to die or something. Or
yeah. So someone said, "Why can't they make a great Doom movie?" And I remember someone saying they did. It's called Event Horizon, and it
nice.
is Event Horizon. Honestly, God, it's messed up when you watch it. It's the essentially the ship they're on. It's like it's come from hell. This whole ship is honestly, it's hard to explain. It really is hard to explain, but you have to watch it because it's like psychological. It all plays tricks on their minds. Sam Neill's characters goes fucking apeshit by the end of it. He starts carving all fucking demonic messages in his arms and all shit. He stitches his eyes together and stuff. You need to watch it. It's a great movie.
He takes from In the Mouth of Madness to space. He was doing a lot of these crazy breakdown madness roles. Who else is in it?
Jason Isaacs, isn't it?
Okay.
I like Jason Isaacs. Oh shit, what's the name of the one guy? Fuck, he played Alfred in the Gotham series. Got his name now. Sean something. But who else is in it? Let me have a quick look. Sam Neill, obviously. I know there's a pretty decent cast in it. Event Horizon. Let me just have a quick look.
Like Ralph, like Joseph Fiennes or something was Alfred.
Sorry.
That might be a movie.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I don't.
Paul W.S. Anderson directed it. Oh, Lawrence Fishburne's in it. That's right. He's the main character.
About to say, I was like, I thought there was like a pretty prominent.
Yeah. Sean Pertwee's the name I was thinking of. He's a great actor. Jason Isaacs.
Sean Patrick Flannery, is that who you said?
Sorry?
Did you say Sean Flannery or Sean Patrick Flannery?
No, Sean Pertwee. He's in Gotham, but he plays Alfred in Gotham.
Oh, I'm not. Huh. Yeah, I'm not
He's
familiar.
good. He's good. Jason Isaacs. He's a good actor. He's in it. Sam Neill, Kathleen Quinlan, Jolie Richardson. It's a good movie though. I do recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, I think it came out maybe a couple years before Supernova. There were a lot of like these space disaster type movies, right? I mean, they came out
Mm,
at the time. The one I think I get Event Horizon with, it's just like they're not even related, is Deep Rising. I think I used to always get it with that. Maybe because of the Event Horizon and Deep
yeah.
Rising. I think that's what it is. I might have just figured out a massive psychological block that I've had for decades. Well, rock and roll, man. No, this is cool. I mean, we could talk horror films forever. We can just go on and on and on and on and on. I do have a tendency to gush more over Texas Chainsaw than others, but we will be in November soon enough. You're actually probably already in November. So,
In
are there any
15 minutes.
is there any horror movies you're excited about? Anything you're looking forward to seeing as we're wrapping up here?
Um, I mean,
Old,
I don't know.
new.
I can't say if there's anything new I'm looking forward to. I'll be honest. It's just rewatching the classics, what I've watched before, but also trying to find old films I've never had a chance to come across and watch. I watched Prom Night for the first time like a few months ago,
Really,
and
the Jamie Lee Curtis one?
yeah, and like I know it's a cult classic, but it was actually the first time I watched it like a few months ago. So
Oh wow.
sometimes, sometimes I'm coming across these films which I've heard of, but I've never actually watched, and it's good.
How was Black Phone? I had rented it recently and I didn't get around to actually watching. I just didn't have time to watch. I'll have to check it out again. But did you see that one? You saw that one with
I
Ethan
haven't
Hawke?
no, I haven't watched that. I'll tell you a good one with Ethan Hawke and shit, what's it called now? Fuck.
Oh, Sinister.
Sinister, that's the one, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, same director. A lot of the same cast, from what I could tell. I didn't know James Ransone was in it, and then I heard he was in it. I was like thinking I should see it, and that's why I rented it. But I just didn't get around to watching it. But love, fucking love James Ransone. I think he's one of the best actors, totally overlooked. And the only reason I succumbed to watching it Chapter Two was because I thought, well, it's all adults, and James Ransone plays adult Eddie, I think. Uh,
Yeah,
but that was like the best of the matchups between the kid and the adults were those two. I thought they were amazing. Um, but I liked Sinister. I think I saw a screening of it I mean over a decade ago when it came out. Maybe not whenever it first came out. I saw a screening of it in L.A. and Scott Derrickson was there as well. I didn't mind it. I don't know. I feel like they were kind of trying to force feed another villain onto us. You know what I mean? Like that Osgood or whatever the fuck his name is.
yeah. What's your thoughts on the Welcome to Derry TV show coming out?
Tell me more about it.
Pennywise, Welcome to Derry.
No, I mean I understood. I wasn't sure because I thought they used Derry. He uses Derry as a setting for several different stories. So I wasn't
That is
sure if,
true.
yeah, I wasn't sure if it was pertaining. So is this going to be more of like a straight Pennywise thing then, huh?
Um, that's a good question. Like I know, like from what I saw, they done like there was like a clown on display, like Pennywise basically. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, because I know, like you say, he uses Derry in quite a lot of his works. So I wonder if there's going to be more stories about it, or is it just focused on Pennywise?
Stephen King is to Maine what M. Night Shyamalan is to Philadelphia.
Hmm.
You know,
No, okay.
but yeah, I mean, I'd check it. I don't know. To me, when you're taking iconic villains, it all boils down to like who are they putting behind this, you know? And even then, I'm not so against it unless it's Bill Skarsgård again. They're doing that same Pennywise that I just think is more like Pennywise, like a pedophile. The way he just there was no terror behind it. It was just like flirting and nah, no.
No.
So with Pennywise, I feel you have to cast an older actor who it really wears on their face, you know, like with Tim Curry, he's got the really sunken kind of sad eyes, but he was a man, you know, he had he'd lived and suffered loss and like all this stuff, you know, and I felt they made him too childlike in the remake. It was yeah, I thought again, if I can see something that I disagree with in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, chances are I'm not gonna like it at
No.
all. I'm just gonna be like, this is absolute bullshit, right? Fucking Halloween 2018, these fucking podcasters, full access to a goddamn state penitentiary, psycho asylum, whatever the hell, pull the mask. Like, it was fucking bullshit. Like, right? And so, like, what? I've already given up on this shit. Chapter one. Let's just start with the Georgie bullshit because we don't know how to establish a town and the issues that are going on. Let's go right to Bill and Georgie. Let's go. Let's just get that over with. Let's just establish Georgie. Runs down the cellar, grabs the paraffin or whatever, runs back up, doesn't even close the door behind him. Bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit. If you're a kid running down into a cellar that you're terrified of and you get up the guts and you run down there and you do what you do and you grab it and you run your ass back up, you are literally grabbing the door and shutting it behind you as you run out because it creates another barrier between whatever might be coming up behind you. It's one less thing to slow down. It's dumping down milk cartons. It's dumping. It's getting furniture in the way. If you're running up the stairs and you're pulling the door behind you, you're grabbing the handle and you're pulling it behind you shut. Show me one kid anywhere who's been in a similar situation and doesn't do that on the way up. And I'll eat my fucking words. But that to me, I was like, that was absolute fucking bullshit. That he just ran up and ran out without closing the door. It's like that would never happen. It's no different than the guy sneaking in or the person sneaking in and not closing the door behind them or the window behind them. Like it's just this bullshit. That's not the way. Nobody would fucking do that. So when I saw that, I was like, nah, I'm done. I can't. Like it's crap. And I thought it was just no. Anyways.
No. Cool. Right. I think with that will do us for tonight, Paul. So thank you again.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Check your candy. Beware your surroundings. Don't eat it all in one sitting.
I think we have. And
Yeah.
you saw me eating the kids' candy all night.
James has been extremely busy with other commitments and family and work, and I've been extremely busy with bookings and traveling and all sorts of things. So we really appreciate you guys being all of you being patient with us as we get this back on. We've got some cool stuff in the works coming for CineMarks. Hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah.
As we get into 2024. So you know,
big weekend this weekend as well for me. Well, for my boy.
right?
Taekwondo championships in Guildford,
Oh,
London.
awesome.
Well, near London. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Well, if one of your boys starts kind of needing some help, just start a Naksu Cow chant in the crowd.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's kickboxer.
cow, Naksu cow, Naksu cow, and like see if you can get the whole room to start chanting that. Remember
And with that, that's probably a tease for the next episode. It's going to be a fandom episode.
that? White Warrior. All right.
Right. Thanks,
Thank y'all so
everyone.
much.
And
Yep. We'll be back soon enough.
bye.
From one Naksu cow to the other. Happy Halloween.
Cheers.
All right.